When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me.
Oh, my funny Papou moment was when I was up to see him. Quite a while ago. And we're all sitting there having dinner. He's talking things and making up stories that only he knew. Yeah, he says, I remember I walked into this theater and I saw my sister Anna up on stage dancing, stripping. We fell apart laughing. Where did you come up with that one?
My thing I remember about Papou is when he told me to pee with authority and to have a strong streak and to watch my love handles.
One of my most favorite things about Uncle Lou is when he got me, took me aside one day and he said, "Come here." He said, "Come here. Look at my eyes. What color are they?" And I went, "Blue." And he said, "Look at my kids' eyes." And I went, "Blue." He said, "Do you know why they have blue eyes and you have brown?" I went, "No, Blue." And he went, "You're full of shit up to here."
Was on my mom's 60th birthday when he came to Chicago, or to Columbus, and he stayed up later than all of the youngsters that went to bed. He was up till 2 o'clock talking to one of the guys I was dating at the time, which was weird. But yes, and everybody loves him. We love him. We'll miss him.
To see him about 3 weeks ago, and he hugged me and put his hand on my butt. He said, "We got to get together." And then he stopped and walked off.
Okay, so my favorite Papou moment, it was after Papa's funeral, actually, and we were driving in the car, and he kept saying, "Brevlaka, Brevlaka," in the car. I didn't know what it meant, so he taught me exactly what that meant. And then he proceeded to teach me the rest, which Aunt Anna says wasn't right. Brevlaka, TSC Viavalu, and he said Prostamu is what he taught me, but I have no idea what it means.
Wow.
Florida with, I think, Mike Stewart, and I had bought 10 pounds of shrimp that I was going to split between that night and the next night I was having company for dinner. Uncle Lou saw the shrimp, he cooked it all, made his famous shrimp a la Lou, and we proceeded, the 4 of us, to eat almost 10 pounds of shrimp that could never be ever duplicated again.
Every moment I was with him.
That's very sweet. What's your Papou moment, Joseph?
I can't come up with anything because everything's special, and besides, I can't think of anything right now. Give me a moment. Because there really are too many to pick through.
What's your favorite? How about what the one Amy?
It was when we were in high school and Papou came home after a late night out,
Like at nighttime?
partying. And he fell asleep on the toilet, and we went to go to school, and we couldn't get into the bathroom because he had his knees on or elbows on his knees and was asleep on the toilet. And Uncle Lou had to punch the door out to get in.
My funny Papou moment was, did you talk to him? You already said the thing about him falling asleep on the toilet?
I did.
Damn it. Darn it. I'm going to say it's when he made the martini in the salad bowl.
Ready? Okay, on my 30th birthday, all the in-laws of my family came up to Columbus to celebrate with me, for me and my sister-in-law to celebrate our birthdays. Well, Uncle Jack and my dad showed up in town, and they called and said they were at the bar up at the top of our street and come on up. So my sister-in-law and I went up for a quick drink, and 4 hours later we returned home. And everybody was mad at us, but we had a really good time with my dad and Uncle Jack.
Favorite stories about Uncle Lou was when we were coming home from Carol Halkis' wedding, and it was Will and Lou and me and Benny and Aunt Kick and Lenny. And Lenny was with us too?
Yeah.
And Lenny. And we were all stuffed in the car. That's before seatbelts. And we came home from across town to the Holiday Inn, and we all got out of the car, and Uncle Lou had been lecturing us because he had been drinking really well that night. And he got out of the car, and everybody was walking away, and his tie got stuck in the car. And he was yelling, "Mine's stuck, I'm stuck." And everybody just looked at him, and Aunt Kick just walked away. and we all left him there. And he was trying to get the door back.
Well, I got to stay with Dad, Papou, when Yaya went out of town. It was when he was first starting to get sick, and we were at the house. And I went into Yaya's bathroom to tinkle like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I came back out and got back in bed. All of a sudden, I felt movement in the bed. Dad? Yeah, honey? I go, you can't be in bed with me. I got to get you back to your bedroom. That was it. There's tons more, but that's it.
We used to have an ongoing battle. I was probably a really bratty 13-year-old. And not probably, okay, I was. And we used to have an ongoing battle. I would get into the car and push my radio station. It was rock or whatever, probably AC/DC, I'm not really sure at the time. But he, of course, listened to his old school music. So we would have this ongoing thing. I'd push my station, he'd push his, and he'd go back and forth, and I was bratty. No, not me. So one day I got in the car, and his music was on. And so I went to change my channel to my channel, and it was his station again. And then I pushed the other one, and it was his station again. He had changed every single radio station to his channel, and he's just sitting there driving. Who would have done that? So, I didn't think it was funny at the time, but it's hilarious now.
If you didn't say then there was something wrong with you.
Shrimp a la Lou.
A la Lou. Shrimp a la Lou. In Anna's house, and there was this big platter in the middle of the table, and nobody knew how much they were eating. You were just grabbing from the platter, putting the shells in another dish. We polished off that whole platter. It was so good. So he did give me a recipe, but I'm not sure if he left anything out.
Okay, so back in 1966, I went out to Indiana to be with Uncle Lou and the boys and Benny and everybody. And they were out running around doing whatever they were doing, and Uncle Lou dragged me to the grocery store. And Uncle Lou went through every item in the produce department, naming it out loud. Lettuce. Hey, Artie, we're going to get us some lettuce.
Non-carborundum illegitimates. Don't let the bastards get you down.
And then there were kabaji.
It's his, I want to say 75th birthday, 70th or 75th birthday. We're going down the Florida Turnpike. I don't know exactly where we're going. And he gets pulled over because Papou always had a left foot. He was not a classic old driver. He got pulled over. The state highway patrolman pulled him over and asked him how fast he was going, and he said he really didn't have any clue. And he talked himself out of a speeding ticket at the age of 75, right on his birthday, like a couple days around his birthday. And he wasn't like, oh, you shouldn't, oh, you know, this is my right to drive as fast.
And there was tamato, patato. And to this day, when I go to the grocery store, lettuce is lettuce.
He's always the happiest man I ever knew in my life. Always smiling, making everybody else happy around him. Just, you don't see that. You know, most people have happy days and bad days. I never saw him having a bad day, ever. And he loved children more than anybody I ever knew. He was just, they were like a magnet. He was a fabulous person.